turn this square, this handle, and these two rings into a crocheted pie casserole carrier. This is for carrying hot casseroles and hot pies, and you've got a nice handle here that fits through these rings, and it pulls up and carries in like a sling your casseroles and hot pies. So make this today here on GoodKnit Kisses. This is the assembly video for making your pie and casserole carrier. Welcome to GoodKnit Kisses. We're all about helping you stitch your love and love your stitches. Please check out the video description and the links below to our blog for the free pattern. We also have a video on how to make this square here. You can make it like this one here, which actually made in the round, and then you're going to slip it together, or you can use a thermal stitch and make just like one of these pot holders here, and it's nice and thick. So you can make a double layer or you can make a thick layer. Then you're going to add in a handle across a diagonal and add on some D-rings. So I'm going to show you how to make those today. We've got video links for all those tutorials down in the description and links below, and a right and left hand video tutorial. This tutorial is right hand only because I think you can understand how to get that sewn together. I just want to show you how to put together the components. All right, let's dive in. Don't forget, for more information on the materials, that is in our free blog, so look down below for that. I am going to be working with this base here. This is working in the round to get my size, and we have a video on that telling all about it. And you can also make it in the thermal stitch, which is this one here. I'm just going to simply talk about this one that I've got pictured right now in this video. So the tutorial is down below, and you can get that. But I'm at my halfway point here. And the halfway point is, when I'll make this in the round, it's the halfway point of the size of my diagonal, and that's the height that I make here. And once I get to that point, I fold it in half like this, the opposite direction, and it makes a square. And then I'm going to start seaming this together, and it's really just a slip stitch. In that video that I have down below, it will show you exactly how to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and start here and work my way all the way down to the end and weave in my tail. But before you do, this is a troubleshooting part, be sure and open this up and weave in all the tails, because this has taken about 3 balls. You may have started to have to use a 4th ball towards the last few rounds, which is what I had to do. And then the rest of that 4th ball will be used for this handle. So go ahead and weave those tails in first before you seam this up. And that's really what I want to point out in this video now. I'm going to do that, and then I'll join you back up for making the handle. We'll see you in a moment. All right, now that you have your square done, I've got mine here and woven in the tails. I'm just going to set it aside, and you're going to work on the thermal stitch and make one handle. So I've done 6 stitches wide, which I chained 7 and then started making the thermal stitch 6 stitches wide. Now it is just a hair wide for my D-rings. Let me get those out. So it's just a little bit wider. It does pull through. So if you want to chain 6 and then make 5 across, that works too, because you lose 1 when you make the chain. So go ahead and start that and check that video out down below so that you can make it. And then I'm going to show you finishing it off here. So when you get to about 20 inches or so, or 21.5, go ahead and pull out your square or your base. And we're going to look at this diagonal across. This one's really easy because you can see where that seam is. If you want to put it across this line, or if you want to make it an X shape, you can do that too. Just use whichever one you're going to do. I mean, they should be the same, but just in case, go ahead and go across. And you're going to be stitching this down here at this end, just across here. It doesn't have to come all the way to the tip, and come across and to here. So I have mine all the way down here, and I want it just a little bit shorter. This may stretch just a little bit, so I'm going to go ahead and pull out a few rows. So let's see, make sure I'm all the way on here like I want to be, and I'm down to here. So now that I know where to finish, I'm going to pull out one more little row, and I'm going to go across and finish. And you can see that video to see how we finished. So let's see. I did that, and actually I'd already chained up. So let's see if we can make sure and get right on it. So this is the end of my thermal stitch. And then we're going to slip, chain 1 and turn. And this isn't that video, but you're going to be going through both stitches and then that back stitch, that previously unworked stitch. So we're going through both of them. This is on that final row, and then 1 stitch down below, pulling up a loop and single crochet. And then go again, go through both stitches, go through that loop. Well, you saw I got it all at the same time. That doesn't always happen. Pull up a loop and single crochet. That's 2. We're gonna do it again, 3, and go down to that stitch below, pull up a loop, single crochet, and keep going until you finish it off. And then when you are finished, you're going to go across and sew in. So we're going to do that here in a minute. So go ahead and finish your handle, pause your video, and come back and we'll put this on together. Once you've made your handle, you're going to want to sew that in. Make sure you have nice long tails at the end. If you have a short one down here, you can always weave that in first and then add in a longer tail so it's easier to sew in, whatever works for you. So I'm just going to come along here and lay this across. And this other one will go over here. You can pin that on or leave it loose. And then you're just simply going to sew across. So lay it here or turn it around, whatever way works for you, and make sure it's on there even. Make sure this other part's nice and flat, and then start sewing it in. So I'm going to go from this. I'm not going to go all the way through. You could, but I'm just going to go through one end of this and just simply whip stitch it in. You can sew it in however you like, and this just works for me, but I would suggest that you go through a couple of times, maybe even 3 times. So 2 to 3 times across, weave in your tails to complete your handle. All right, so finish that up, pause your video, and I will meet you back up for the D-rings that we're going to put in. See you in a moment. All right, we've got our base and handle, and now we just need the D-rings to finish this off. So I've placed them with some scrap yarn to sew right here. So here's the handle, this bottom corner here across. I'm just simply placing the flat side over here, and we're going to sew it in. And then the other one, we move down, you can see I'm going to put it here. So the flat sides are along here, and then the ring pulls out, and it tends to pull in well. That's just how I've strategically placed it to work well with this handle. So go ahead and sew those on. Let's do that now. I've already got this scrap yarn through my needle, and we're simply going to place this on here. You can start on the end, and that way you know you've got that corner set. And we're just gonna go through like a whip stitch. I'm gonna pull through until I have a nice long tail. And then come back around and come up through this D-ring again. Okay, and this tail will get put in here. You can knot it in as you go or not. This is going to be loose the first round, and then I just fill in the gaps. And don't worry, this needle or this D-ring will slide around. So when you get to about 3/4 of an inch or an inch, make sure and line it up and see that you are not going too wide. Like this, I'm just sliding it down. All right, going to the very end, and then we're just going to come back and cross over these other areas to fill in the gap. All right, now come down to the end. You could go ahead and tie a knot here and pull it through just to secure that. And then now you're going to weave in your tails, or you can go back over and pick up any areas that you missed. So this one was my first short tail. I want to make sure it's really in here good. So I'm going to use this one to go over the empty spots. So I really got this in here good. It's done it like 3 times, so it's just kind of overkill at this point. So I'm just going to kind of go back along the bottom edge of this and maybe go back over a few of these stitches and through. And you can go in the middle here, in the middle of these 2 layers. And then when you cut it, this tail, it'll just hide the tail on the inside. And then do the same with this other end. You can hide your tail inside. And when I'm going through here, I'm not going to the back. So I'm going inside, and make sure you miss the back side and come up the front again. And then I'll go over and back through a stitch and pull through the middle. Cut it. And the tail will hide inside. And there's 1 ring. So then you're just going to come back over to this other side and begin again with a fresh scrap yarn and put your D-ring on. All right, pause your video and we'll come back. I'll show you what it looks like with a pie or a casserole dish in your carrier. All right, so you have your carrier made, and I'm going to show you how to put this in here. So you've got your nice hot pie. You're just going to put it underneath this handle and then pinch the handle in the middle, and you're going to push it through the first ring. It doesn't matter which ring. And just push that right on through. Okay, and then tighten that up, and then you're going to go over to the other side and pick up the other ring and put that through. And now you have yourself a nice handle for carrying your pie. You could even make 2 carriers and have pies in 2 hands, or casseroles. So let's show you the casserole. We're just going to loosen this up a little bit and loosen this one. And you can slide this out, or you can just take the whole thing out. Oh, let's see, I'll do that just for now. If you had a real pie in here, I would want to take out the first all the way. You have your carrier. We're going to do that. We're going to put the handle up here. We're going to bring up one of our rings, pull it through. And then turn it around. There we go. We have our carrier, and it will pull it. And you can pull this one a little bit more. And if your carrier is, or if your casserole dish is a little bit wider, it will just be smaller at the handle. So you can pull it a little bit looser if your casserole dish is bigger. And of course you can make your square much bigger if you have a really large casserole dish. So I hope this has helped you. I hope you enjoy making your carrier today here at Good Knit Kisses. And if you want a knit or loom knit version, we do have those links down below. Thanks for joining us again at Good Knit Kisses. Have a great day and happy crochet. Bye everyone. Thanks for joining us today, where we help you stitch your love and love your stitches. See you again soon.